Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you a video today, a discussion video in response to my previous one where I talked about whether or not soccer cleats are too expensive. If you missed that video, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen. You can go ahead and check it out as it does relate directly to this video that I'm making today. But what I saw a lot in the comment section of that video, and it wasn't necessarily something that I thought was going to be a major takeaway from that particular discussion, was that a lot of people were leaving comments saying that the majority of consumers are buying shoes because of the brand name, be it Nike, Adidas, Puma, the big brands mainly. And I think a lot of that came almost in anger of some of these big companies charging a lot of money for their top end products. And I completely understand why a lot of people think that, hey, the vast majority of consumers are buying shoes because of the brand name. Is that true to a certain extent? Yes, but at the same time, I think there's some really solid arguments to say, no, we don't buy shoes because of the brand that I want to talk about in today's video. So basically what we're discussing is, do we buy soccer cleats / football boots purely because of the brand name? If you want to learn a little bit more on the topic, stick around and watch the entire video. And with that being said, let's get right into it. While I fully understand the argument that a lot of people make saying that some people purely buy their shoes based on the brand, and that is to a certain extent true. Some people buy Nikes because they love Nike. Some people only buy Adidas because they love Adidas and don't consider what else is out there. But at the same time, and this is kind of my main argument here, I don't necessarily think we buy shoes purely based on the brands, because you have to consider what the big brands are actually offering you. It's something pretty distinct, pretty unique, and something that you can't necessarily get from anybody else. Consider this. If you're a big fan of the Nike Magista Obra 2, the design of the shoe, the materials, the Nike specific technology, and I guess development that has gone into that product, you don't have any other options. You don't have anything else out there that's similar from any other brand, be it a big one or a small one. You look at the Adidas Ace 17 Plus Pure Control, or the laceless line from Adidas in general. That's something that they kind of brought to market, made popular, and people want that shoe because it's the only thing like it out there on the market. I think it's really unfair to, I guess to a certain extent, discredit these big brands and discredit, I guess, the consumers themselves in terms of saying, oh, I'm just buying these shoes because they're Nike, or this guy's just buying these shoes because they're Adidas. I think that these big brands are truly kind of pushing the boundaries in terms of innovating and introducing new and exciting products that quite simply we're not getting from the smaller brands, obviously for reasons that they probably just can't afford to do it, or maybe they just don't have as good of a development team as some of these bigger companies. Bigger companies tend to produce better products, I guess not just in soccer shoes, but I guess in general. Are there small companies that come around and create something innovative and exciting? Absolutely, but I think in the world of soccer cleats / football boots, the majority of the exciting, kind of cutting edge, really good performing shoes out there are coming from the big brands Nike, Adidas, and Puma. So to say that we're purely buying Nikes because of the Nike name, or purely buying Adidas because of the Adidas name, I just don't think that that's a particularly fair argument. Again, considering what these big brands have on offer. They're innovating, they're creating new products that nobody else has. And if a smaller brand does decide to make kind of a copycat variation of what's been successful from a bigger brand, more likely than not, you're probably not going to want that copycat item. And I would say more likely than not, that copycat shoe isn't going to be as good as the shoe it actually copied. So that's kind of my main argument here. Obviously, the bigger brands have a lot more marketing power. They have a lot more exposure to consumers in general. It's going to be in consumers' face much more frequently than smaller brands have even an opportunity to kind of push their own product. But that is kind of the nature of business. There's really no way of kind of making people look at what else is out there. But again, I don't necessarily think that they need to. I think if you look at just Nike and Adidas alone, within those two brands, 99% of people are going to be able to find something that they like, that they're happy with, that performs the part, that's a good quality product, and there's really no need for them to look elsewhere. So again, to make the argument that people only buy shoes because of the brand, while there is a certain truth to that, I also think that there's a reason why the big brands are the most popular. They legitimately make the best products. And of course, there are exceptions out there. I think brands like Mizuno, for example, even Under Armour, They've had some hit and miss shoes over the years, but Mizuno especially, they make some very high quality products. They're just not necessarily the most popular, at least here in North America. And again, when talking about what tends to be the most popular and what most people end up buying, the big brands tend to also be the most accessible to consumers. They're the most widely available. Pretty much every in-store or online store will have something from Nike, Adidas, and Puma if they're selling soccer cleats. Whereas smaller brands like Diadora, Umbro, Mizuno even, they're just not going to be as readily available, and therefore as well, it's going to play into their lack of popularity. So that's kind of my discussion on this particular topic. I really don't think that we buy shoes specifically because of the brand. I think we buy shoes because of what's interesting, because of what's new, and because of what's a legitimately good product. And it just so happens that the majority of these new, innovative, exciting, legitimately good products are coming from the bigger brands. Is that a bad thing? No. Can we hate on them for this? I don't necessarily think so, because without them, you wouldn't have any of these cool, new, innovative shoes. So again, that's kind of my argument here. Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. If you have any thoughts, leave them down below. And if you have any questions regarding anything that I talked about in this video, leave it down below in the comment section as well. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.